Hello. Can you hear me?
Good
Is this
morning.
working today?
I hear you.
Michelle, can you hear me?
Yep.
Ah, there we go. I think it's me again. Sometimes I forget to turn my volume on.
How are you this morning?
Hear me? I can't hear you.
Yep, I can hear you.
Thank you. Thanks for your help.
No problem. How are you this morning?
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Since I spoke with you last, anyway.
All of like an hour ago.
Right.
Yes, I'm doing good. My kids
Good.
are busy watching SpongeBob
Oh, good.
on
That
their
extra screen time they get while you
That's
work.
right. That's right. This is the highlight of their day. I just want everyone to know. They're like, Mom, why did you guys only do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now? Mad about it because they get to go on their iPads. My little light here is like very high. I feel like I'm like being blinded by the light.
Those things are so intense. If you click it up one extra notch, it seems like it's even more intense.
It is. It's so odd. So how's everybody doing today? Oh, good morning to you, Brittany. Good afternoon to me.
Good morning, good afternoon. I love Melissa.
Guys, I'm feeling a little silly and weird today. Hi, KK.
Silly and weird today, huh?
Yeah, I feel a little goofy today. Little goofy. Oh, Michelle, she was like, oh, well, Kevin's here. I'm going on mute. Goodbye, everybody.
Right?
I'm still here. I'm still here. Don't worry.
Michelle.
Okay.
I slept 12 hours last night.
Who does
Ooh,
that?
I'm
You're an
jealous.
infant?
What's that?
You're like an infant, you know? Well, I guess a lot of infants don't sleep, but, you know, they do.
I am wearing a diaper.
You're not that old, Kevin.
Okay.
12 hours? Like, did you run a marathon yesterday? Like, what's the need for 12 hours of sleep? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I guess my body just needed it. It was really hot here. I did take a long walk in the like midday sun, but that's about it. I don't know.
That sounds wonderful, Kevin. I'm jealous.
Oh, it was good. I felt like a zombie though. I put a little Insta-lift on.
Oh, you look great.
Just getting ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
What that means anymore, I don't know, but
Great. Do you have big
Just the
plans?
rest of the week, Kevin.
having a little coffee today.
You should. You should. Coffee's good.
Hey, Kathy.
Sorry, just getting text from my accounts over here. Oh, hello there. Sean Paul is joining us today. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, lovely. I like how we're just going to go on the East Coast. We're just going to pretend that it's the morning here as well. We're just going to go with good morning today. Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. It is very gray out.
I know. I feel like every Friday has been like this. Like, I feel like every Friday is when we're like, oh, it's thunderstorming here. Oh, it's raining. But it's always on a Friday.
That is a true statement. It rained in the morning, and then now I guess it's going to just be gray.
I don't know. I saw we might get more thunderstorms again.
Please no.
I know.
Kathy says it's raining in California too.
Wow. That June gloom is still going on?
But that must be good for California because you know.
And San Diego's been hot?
Oh my.
Jeez.
We have what's called monsoons. So in the evenings, right, the thunder and rain just comes through in the evening and wipes the heat away. It's pretty nice.
But Tambra, wasn't it just snowing 3 days ago there?
Maybe it's been a couple weeks, maybe.
Okay.
Tamara, you're looking beautiful today.
Oh,
Yes, you are.
Thank you. White, I don't know. I hear it pops on Zoom, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Yeah, it does.
And Kevin, you look fetching also.
Oh, he was just telling us that is because he got 12 hours of sleep last night.
Oh, good for you.
Nice.
Yeah, I fell asleep very early. Sean, I was just typing how much I like your shirt. It's like you if you got a tan. The color. Back on mute.
No, you didn't.
Kevin is our resident jokester, I suppose.
Trying out the material before he hits the big time. Or like the big top.
You know, Kevin, these are all recorded, so you could use this as your highlight reel when you're, entering.
His low light reel.
Oh.
This may be used in a court of law someday.
Well, I suppose we should get started. We are here actually to educate. Not just entertain. Well, actually, we are here for both reasons. And we thank you all for joining us week after week as we continue to put on our show for you. Okay, so let's talk about next week before we get started on this week. Sean Paul. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. How about me on the spot?
We'll get to you in a moment. Are you ready?
Let's come back to me.
Okay, we'll come back to you towards the
Nope,
end.
I got it.
Never mind. He's ready.
Monday, we start off again with a special edition, Meet Our Team. You'll get to discuss and have conversations with Heidi Ackerman, who is our VP of Marketing. And Heidi will share with you all of the things that we're doing to up our SEO, which is our search engine optimization to grow the brand, along with the visuals and along with the new products that have been launched and maybe might be teased about what's coming. So I'm very excited. Heidi is a very close personal friend of mine, and I believe she does an amazing job. So you get to learn about what brought Heidi to Epicuren a little over 3 years ago and the great work that she does. On Wednesday, we'll be working with our friend Kevin, and who else? Is it Tambra again? Yes. For Back At Ya, we'll be doing a back treatment, which I think a lot of our followers have asked for. So I'm excited about that. So you'll get to see an actual demo again. And then on Friday, Social Score with a special guest. And John, is it Andrea or Andrea?
It's actually Andrea.
Andrea, okay.
Really
Tomato.
mention the next here.
Andrea is Jana's sister and comes to us with a wealth of social media background. So we're very excited to welcome a special guest for all of you to assist you with your social media strategy. So it's an action-packed week 13.
Yeah,
And the vision will
number
be out
13.
on our social later today.
Thank you for that. Lucky 13 coming next week.
It's amazing.
Unbelievable. I don't know where the time has gone. I feel like we'll be able to know how long we've been going as my hair just gets longer and longer. And
Week 25 Rapunzel.
Okay, so with that, I am Jana, Regional Account Executive in the Northeast. I am recording this for your reviewing pleasure, which you can see on epicuren.com/Zoom replay. If you could please submit your email addresses in the chat box below to be entered to win our giveaway product that we will announce on Monday. And we also, if you have any questions throughout, you can also submit those questions in the chat and I will read them to Ms. Tambra for you. We have a wholesale offer, 10% off your wholesale order, but we will not give you that code until the end of our segment today. And with that, Tambra.
Take it away.
Take it away, Tambra.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all again. Thank you very much for joining us. So again, yeah, Tambra Grassley, Regional Account Executive for Colorado. I live in Colorado, and then I have Wyoming and Montana down into New Mexico and Texas. So kind of the mountain regions down into Texas. I've been with the company 15 years. So today our topic is post-treatment care, a more invasive treatment. So, and I personally, because I've been working with this brand so long, and we don't need the bells and whistles. We don't necessarily, you don't have to have all of those machines to use us, but we are used with those machines and before and after. So it was a great opportunity for me to dive into some of these treatments that are out there that maybe I'm not aware of. So I just thought I'd kind of touch on some of the differences of it seems to be currently out there, and then talk about what we have to offer for those post treatments, and maybe to think, and we can brainstorm if you have any particular treatments that you do or have heard of. And like I said, I'm not super aware of a lot, and if we can't answer it today, we'll go ahead and make a special arrangement for another day. So let's see. So when it comes to surgical and non-surgical, surgical, I'm not going to really talk about, but non-surgical, so lasers, right? So they work for fine lines, discoloration, removing acne scars, and they can use for facial hair as well, and body hair. And then there's two different types of lasers. There's ablative and non-ablative. And ablative, they actually remove the outer layers of the skin. So they're actually taking that front layer off, and the doctor is working to get down to the layers that they're desired to do. And so there's fractionated, which they can be more on a certain area. And so those are a different type of just a general laser. And then the non-ablative, they don't break the skin. So they use heat below the skin to encourage new collagen and restore the firmness. So they more work in that under layers. And you do have redness and, probably some flaking afterwards, but they haven't necessarily taken those layers off. And those take more of a 2 to 3 week healing process. So the ablative, some of those are CO2 lasers. They are to treat scars and warts. There's an erbium, which I don't really know much about, but it's better for different kind of lighter skin types of African American, Hispanic, or Asian. So some lasers, it's difficult to know if it's okay for a darker skin type to use. So this erbium is a good one that's for a little bit of a darker skin, but not quite super dark. And then there's a non-ablative, which is a pulse dye, and it absorbs the pigment in the skin. So that'll absorb the redness and the dark spots. So those, and rosacea. So those are pretty interesting. And this IPL is another version of that. It's an intense pulsed light. And it's a light, not a laser. And that uses a highly focused wave of impulses. And that absorbs the excess pigment, so red or brown. So those IBLs are pretty neat for any kind of skin that has a pigment issue to it. I saw a lady, she was working for Yonka, and she had just had one of these. She had a lot of heavy pigment on her skin, and it was really interesting to see how she was flaky. But she said she did it once a year, and it was slowly getting, so when it kind of came back heavily on her, she could use that to really trigger that within the skin. So I know that there's a place and a use for it for people who have those really deeper, or actually my aunt Sharon, she was a heavy smoker all of her life. And she was only in her 50s, and her wrinkles were so severe, and her saggy of her skin was so severe that she actually had the CO2 lasers. They just burn her skin off, right? And when she came out, it was amazing to see that baby skin come out and she looks completely different, and now years after, she's been able to maintain a healthier skin. So she quit smoking, and so I've personally seen some of these in action, and it's really remarkable what these lasers can do. So and then the technology continues to evolve. So there's one that I'll talk about that's relatively new that Gianna put me onto yesterday. So then we go into peels. So us as general estheticians, we're used to the lighter peels, like glycolic, salicylic, alpha hydroxy. So we kind of know how to do those. And so what I'm going to talk about will go into from lighter peels all the way into these post-traumatic issues as well. There's dermabrasion, which the cosmetic surgeon precisely removes a treated area layer by layer. So he can just keep going and going and going. So those vertical lines on the mouth, those scars, you know, he can just really trigger, or she, whatever the doctor is, really trigger into that area and help with a specific area. So that's really nice. And then we get into microneedling, right? Which is intentional, there you go, punctures, right? So these needles, they puncture the skin. And so they're really microscopic injuries. And we know it's the same with a peel, right? When we injure the skin, it triggers the skin to produce that collagen elastin, right? So it makes it come back and create healthier skin cells. So your line scars, surgical scars, so they can, you know, needle over that thick, heavy scar and help it to break up, right? We know that massaging, and we can use essential oil, you know, but that microneedling is another avenue for those very intense and thick scars that we might have, and stretch marks. So I thought that was really neat. So microneedling, and I know it's on the rise, you know, it's a very popular thing. A lot of the estheticians in my accounts, they're using that, you know, and little story, so I went to aesthetic school in Hawaii, and my teacher since then has moved to Austin, Texas. And so I was able to meet up with her over these past couple years, and she has gotten into microneedling, and she teaches it as well. And she was saying, because living in Hawaii, we were sun worshipers, right? We knew, you know, we wore sunscreen, but we were certainly tan. And so she has told me her testimonial of how much that microneedling, she was amazed at what it did for her skin to really make it tighten and lift. This is a beautiful woman, you know, so it was really neat to have her just testify that it is really something that's very useful. And so in that, let's see if sorry, my notes are, I'm a note taker. So here we go. So the microneedling, it is safe for all skin types. So I like it for that. I think that's a really important concept to know. So we don't really know what will trigger hyperpigmentation. And so this microneedling seems to be very safe for that. And then we have dermaplaning, which we know, you know, is blading the skin and removing that vellus hair and giving that nice exfoliation. So it's letting your skincare products penetrate deeper so that you'll see a better result. Your skin will be more effective after that dermaplaning. And so it will help with acne scars, dull skin, dry skin, right? Get that dryness off, sun damage, and fine lines and wrinkles. And then we go into injectables, and those, you know, there's a lot of research out there of what to do where. Is it a filler? Is it a relaxer? So it kind of depends on what your issue is. Do you lack a chin? Do you need some cheeks? Do you have the, you know, the furrow brow? So kind of picking that and using, so those treatments, you know, your client will have gone to a specific doctor to get. So really what you'll find is they'll maybe be coming to you because of the redness, because of the swelling, because of the bruising. So things like that. And then also to help keep the skin healthy moving forward. So oftentimes, you know, we have products that, like our biopeptide, we say it's the neurotransmitter peptide that relaxes the tissue. So it could be a replacement for a Botox. So instead of a botulism in your face, right? We use a peptide that relaxes the tissue and helps stop that muscle memory from contracting. So you could recommend that for someone who doesn't want to go the Botox route, or someone who does do the Botox, but then they will have their results last longer. So more of a long-term product. So we certainly have products, you know, that are anti-aging and can keep that ball a-rolling. But there's one more that I'll talk about. And then I'll talk about the products that we will use kind of right after these treatments that are more abrasive, and just to know what to use directly after and what to recommend. And then, you know, we've talked plenty about the peptides and the more anti-aging preventative. When you have any questions, please, of course, let us know. So the next one was, the last one was this plasma fibroblast. And that's the one that Gianna mentioned to me the other day. And what that is it's tiny needles, and they don't actually puncture, but it sets a heat wave into the skin, and it punctures into the skin, and it targets the fibroblast, and it creates these small holes. So if you look at it, they can do it on the top of the eyelids. So those ladies with the saggy eyelids, right? And the chin and the jowls. So it's amazing where these little punctures can go. So that was really amazing. So the seborrhea keratosis on the back of the arms, the age spots, your eyes. So it's really a neat treatment that just triggers that fibroblast activity within the skin. Now we have skincare products that produce the fibroblasts. Oh,
I think Jean-Paul has something to add about that region, about the plasma, but I do have to say, before he says it, I love how excited you are about the plasma. It's so awesome. Okay, go ahead, Jean-Paul.
I'm obsessed with watching those videos on Instagram. I can't get enough of them, where they do the region and then they show the before and after, and now they do the slide thing where it slides across the image. It is unbelievable. You wouldn't, like, in my mind, I wouldn't think wounding the skin like that would produce such an after result with something that's just topical. Like, it's unbelievable, some of the work that I see. So when you started talking about it, like, I immediately envisioned just me on the phone, like watching video after video, like in a rabbit hole of fibroblast. Sorry. But it works. It's great. Sorry.
You're just excited as Tamra. I love it.
Well, and it's one of those things where my mom, she had the saggy eyelid. So for, I think, her 60th birthday, she had the surgery so it's one of those things that when you watch someone else go through it and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with that. So, I do my thing and I'm trying to prevent it. But, I got stretch marks. She didn't. You never know what your body has and what you're going to deal with. So hopefully I don't have the saggy eyelids.
An account of Jana's that's up in Westchester, they did the stretch marks, and the before and after is unbelievable. It's, so that's enough of my PSA about it.
Yeah.
Stop watching Instagram and YouTube.
Well, so our tighten up. So I have my regimen of my neck and my arms with the oil and my salt stone and then my oils and then the espresso on my thighs. But my middle trunk has always kind of been left out of the picture. And so with the tighten up, I now just do all, right? So now I have it all covered besides my back. I can't reach there. But other than that, I have a specific thing for each one. Why not? It's worth a shot, right? It's worth a shot. I will never forget, Colleen, we were in a training and we were talking about the instant lift. And we were talking about it and she walks through and we're like, Colleen, this instant lift is amazing. She's like, don't you wish you could just put it on your chi-chis? And the whole room just busted out laughing. And then Ruby, was like 3 years old at the time. And she comes running through. She's like, but today I'm a grandma. I'm not the CEO. Like, I got to run. She was just having fun with her grandbaby, but she had to be like, I know, us women, just use it where we need it. We'll see what happens. But anyway. So post-care. So I'm just going to run through. So Gianna made a post-care kit for one of her accounts. So we're going to work off that as a group because we have pricing for that. And then there's a couple other products that I want to mention that can also be used or thought about. And then we can always customize, right? So that's kind of the brilliance of us. And when we throw things together, generally we can give some kind of a discount. So we're here to help you think creatively. And Gianna had thought about it where if they bought a series of 5, maybe you throw in that post-care kit for free. So things like that. So we always want to be thinking, how do we encourage them to use this product and get the most out of their services so they keep coming back for more. So the kit that Gianna put together for one of her accounts was starting off with the apricot cream cleanser, a great post anything, sunburn, windburn, sensitive skin. So that has that natural moisture factor of the apricot oil. It helps maintain that protective barrier of the skin. And after skin has been through a trauma like this, we don't want to strip it, right? So we're wanting it to replenish its own natural moisture, keep that protective barrier intact. So kind of cleansing, keeping it sanitized and not dirty. And then we have the Soothe Repair Balm. Sorry, I have a tester of it, but, or a mist, I'm sorry. So our Soothe Mist, it is a companion product with our Soothe Balm, which is also listed. So the Soothe Mist, it uses turkey tail and caterpillar mushroom extracts in there. So it has kind of an earthy scent to it. And those two mushrooms are very powerful. So they help build that resiliency back into the skin. So skin that has been through trauma or tends to be sensitive. So I used to have very sensitive skin. And the Soothe Mist has helped that reactiveness of my skin to stop. So I don't tend to inflame as much. I don't get the eczema on my face, things like that. So that resiliency back in the skin. So someone who has sensitive skin, someone you've just done something very traumatizing to it, it's going to help calm the inflammation and then build that resiliency back. So it does has anti-inflammatory products in there as well, and nothing to agitate it, nothing. So everything just soothing and calming in there. And then we always want to hydrate, right? So the moisture surge, so the hyaluronic acid, right, holds 10 times its weight in water. So it's going to pull and it's going to plump those skin cells. So those injectables, the first one that was the injectable is hyaluronic acid, right? It's a natural component within our own body. So if it dissolves within this, it's fine, it's wonderful. So, and what happens is the skin cells, when they are plump, they are happy. Then the fibroblasts move, then things work better within the skin structure. So just keeping the skin plump with water is the first and foremost thing that you can do. And so ours is not very expensive, which is really wonderful. So you want to put that nice and deep into the skin so that those skin cells get plump and get activated because of that. So we want it to be surrounded with moisture. So you have the mist, you'll put on the moisture surge, and then our vitamin C. So my esthetician, my aesthetic teacher friend who was doing the dermaplaning, that was these were two products that after dermaplaning she highly recommended. So a hyaluronic acid, right? You've just broken the skin open so it'll absorb deeply whatever you put on after. So you want to be really sure. To me, the enzyme concentrate, right, is a great one to get in there, right? It's going to activate the skin. So you want the moisture to get deeply into the skin, and then you want a vitamin C, right? So she looked at this and thought it was a wonderful product. So this will protect the skin cells from that antioxidant. So a lot of why people are doing these peels and traumatic procedures is because of hyperpigmentation, right? So, and my aunt, she has the age spots, so she has it on her arm. She went to the dermatologist. She's like, and my mom's like, well, what do you recommend? She's like, vitamin C, right? So that's what you do. So if you have any kind of hyperpigmentation, my son, since he was 5, would start to have a huge pigment patch every summer. And so I started putting the CXC on under his sunscreen, and it went away. And this year it didn't even come back. But really? They get out of the shower, they put that on. That's it. And then sunscreen. So keeping that hyperpigmentation away. So vitamin C, very important. Then if they are, they've been through trauma, so the Soothe Balm, I don't know if you can see that. So the Soothe Balm, this has the shea butter. It has licorice and sea whip in there as well. Very powerful anti-inflammatory. Sea whip is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatories that we've found right now. And it stops that inflammation cascade. So once inflammation gets started within the skin, it creates a kind of a cascade effect, and it just breaks it down. So we want to stop that inflammation cascade from happening and keep that skin stronger. So this Soothe Balm is going to help with that inflammation and then that protective barrier. So we call this the breathable Band-Aid. Still in the summer here in Denver, all of my accounts are selling it like hotcakes, right? They're using it. So your skin needs that protective barrier. You can always buffer it down, or just use a little, mix it with aloe, something like that. But post-treatment, that is what they are going to layer, especially if they are very raw, right? If they're very raw and very open, there's openness, the Soothe Balm is going to leave that protective barrier on the skin, right? So keep it protected, that breathable Band-Aid idea. Our hydrating mineral mask, can't get enough of this. The skin can absorb whatever it needs. So if it, you can sleep in it. It's a wonderful product. Just rinse it off in the morning. So it has zinc, a natural anti-inflammatory and a natural protector for the skin. And then it has 2 other ingredients that trigger the fibroblasts within the skin. So it's going to help with continuing that effort, what they've just gone through. It's going to help with that fibroblast activity, and also electrolytes within the skin. So it's like our body, when we're down and we're run out, we need electrolytes, we need energy, so that ATP in the skin. So this feeds that electrolytes into the skin. It gives it that energy to fight and to repair and to do what it needs to do. So this hydrating mineral mask is going to be a really key product for any post-treatment, any really dry skin, or anyone who's finding that they're aging, right? And so we want to keep that moisture level and that energy in the skin happening. This is a great massage medium. You can mix it with aloe, mix it with the rose oil. So make it, use it as your base, and then add whatever else you want to on top of it. So you can get really creative with the hydrating mineral mask. Then we have this zinc oxide, right? So it's a chemical-free physical block. So nothing to agitate the skin. It has daisy fruit extract in there, which is already good at hyperpigmentation. So it's going to help with that hyperpigmentation, hormonal hyperpigmentation specifically. And then it does have hyaluronic acid in there as well. So in that zinc perfecting, they're going to get a lot of wonderful ingredients. So, and those are all very clean, very, effectively, but clean products, right? So not a lot of boosting metabolism or anything like that, but really feeding the skin what it needs to heal and repair itself. So that's the first set. Is there any questions of that quick run through of?
Not yet. We do have some comments that Carly likes the Soothe Balm.
Hi, Carly. Hi.
And even with combo and pretty acne prone skin, she still sees the benefit of the Soothe Balm. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sean Paul.
Surprise. Tambra, what would you say is our most gentle cleanser?
Well,
is the apricot cream cleanser because it doesn't have a surfactant in it?
I think so. The herbal, it's very clean as well, but it is a little bit of a foamy. And so skin that we're possibly going to start flaking and things like that, we want to keep that hydration, that moisture on the skin. So it's really that post-treatment, like just keeping that moisture, don't strip it. And then because the herbal, it does a little bit, of that foaminess, so it kind of strips a little bit of that away and doesn't leave that protective barrier on the skin quite as much.
Since Mike said that he still uses apricot cream cleanser every day, I put it in the shower and now I'm obsessed with it. So it's funny that the CEO is telling me what he uses and I'm now using it.
Yeah. Well, and I use the Silk Radiance in the morning. And then as to get my sunscreen off, I do the apricot and I just dry on my skin and I rub it. And then I rinse that. And then I go in with a heavier cleanser. So the herbal or the Clarify if I feel like I'm pretty oily. But so I love that apricot cleanser as that first. Just get the makeup off, get the kind of the party started, I guess, But the Silk Radiance I use in the morning when I don't have anything on, and I'll use that, give myself that face massage. And then when I get in the shower, I wet my hands and then I emulsify that. So I kind of use those two for day and night. But yeah, that's a great question.
Thank you.
So the other products that I just quickly wanted to bring up, because some of them, they are actually wounds. And now that we're finding that we want to build the immune system, right? We're all kind of dealing with, we're going to have dry skin. We're having owies on our faces, if someone is purposely doing these procedures. So we want to boost the immune system of the skin and help the skin heal, right? And help our hands heal and help keep out that infection. So our propolis products, I actually brought up to Heidi that we should make a hand sanitizer with propolis in it. And that's our like mark on a new genre, right? Because propolis is a wound healer. So propolis, the bees go out and they gather the resin and sap of trees. And then they also gather the pollen. And so within that resin and sap, the bees make this propolis as part of the hive. And the propolis is an antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral, antifungal. So it creates a sterile environment for the bees. So for our skin, if we're dealing with open wounds, we want to help it heal. So resin and sap is the wound healer of the tree, right? And then stay sterile. So using our propolis products, so the propolis mist does have an alcohol in it. So this isn't what a post-treatment product would be, but I just want to highlight this for, you know, this as a hand sanitizer. We use it as post-extraction cleanouts. So certainly carry this and keep about this as a wound healer. So if you have someone with inflamed acne, right, they're wide open and they have open wounds. So help their skin heal and stay sanitary, right? And then we have the propolis lotion. So this would be the other product that we could certainly use after a treatment, especially if someone does have the open wounds or is dealing with scabs. So this is going to help that scab heal without a scar. Okay, so anyone with that scab, we're going to use the propolis to heal and to keep any kind of infection away and help the skin heal without scarring as deeply. So our propolis products, I just wanted to highlight for that reason. And then you always have aloe, right? So don't ever forget aloe and noni, right? Now on an open wound, aloe stings. It stings. So that's why right after a invasive treatment, I would tread lightly, but you could put this in with, say, the hydrating mineral mask or in with the soothe balm. So I think that combination would be fine. But if sometimes if I have a cut on my hands and I put the aloe on, it stings, but it's doing the healing process. So it's a wonderful thing, but don't forget about those two. They pull heat from the skin and deeply hydrate. So if nothing else, the skin needs that moisture, right? The water, and aloe is full of water, right? So deeply hydrating with that. We do also have our new Defend and Balance. I can't not say this. So it is a chemical-free sunscreen, right? So it has titanium and zinc, and then it has botanicals, it has antioxidants, and it does do a corrective. So if after a treatment, we're still a little red, you can use this to kind of balance everything out without it being full of chemicals or any kind of product that would disturb that or hurt the skin. So that's also a good just product to think about. And then in the long run, we have our ORAC. So the vitamin C really does the brightening on the skin, but the ORAC is chock full of very highly potent antioxidants. So it's going to protect the skin for the long run. And then it has C-whip in there for that anti-inflammatory. And then it has trehalose, which is what binds water in cactus. So this is called the Age Protect Serum because aging happens from free radical damage and inflammation within the skin and dehydration. So this tackles all three of those issues all in one. So for a long-term product, I alternate daily with the ORAC and the vitamin C. The ORAC, I know Jean-Paul doesn't want to really use it, but it says to use it every other day, but because it's so concentrated. You can use it sorry. So I alternate. One day I use my enzyme concentrate with the ORAC. Oh, I didn't do this is what I used today. So I'll tell you what I used today. I did the Silk Radiance, got in the shower, I did the pumpkin peel, and then I did the microderm over it, rinsed that off, I got out, I did the Soothe Mist, I did the enzyme concentrate, and then the ORAC. And then put up my makeup. So sometimes this ORAC still isn't enough, and then I will add the acidophilus with the rose autumn. So I love that. And then when I'm not using the ORAC, I use the CXC with Moisture Surge underneath. So I love that combination as well for summertime. So, and then I do my peptides at night. So that's all the products that I had to talk about. Is there?
Avon's here. Hold on.
What happened? Is Amazon there? Is that what happened?
Avon.
Mary Kay's calling, right? Hold
We are getting some comments in. I'm sorry, was that your Amazon delivery, Sean Paul?
Absolutely not.
Oh boy. Well, we are getting some comments in. I'm so curious as to what you got. Another ring light, perhaps? We have Kevin's opening up over here that his head actually opened up the other day. He used Soothe Dermal. And then he also used the, what'd you say? Brazilian Propolis Mist. That's awesome. So that's healing up nicely. I'm glad to hear that, Kevin. Sean Paul thinks Auric is plenty. I do sometimes need a little bit more after it, but I do really like that one as well. I think I actually notice that my skin breaks out if I don't use Auric.
Oh.
I use it anytime that I know that I'm going to be in the sun, like walking, or
yeah,
I want to ensure that that's under my sunscreen. I just feel like it doesn't, my skin doesn't, being as fair as I am, when I'm in the sun, I get that redness immediately. And I find when I wear Auric, I don't. And I can always tell if I don't blend it into my 4 hairs up here, that you can see where I didn't put it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Welcome to teaching.
And I know I'm probably the only one, but I actually use that Active Sport treat on my face all summer long.
Wow.
I really love the Active Sport. I don't think it gets enough cred. My husband and I use it. It doesn't leave a shiny, and I'm wandering around generally, and so I don't every day use the Defend and Balance because it's hot, and so I'm sweaty and things like that. So that Active Sport, I really can't say enough about. I never burn all summer long. It's a great product. So, it does, you have to blend it into your hair. My husband gets the towel and gets it out of his beard. But once it goes on really thick, but then once it lightens up, you're good to go. It's really a lovely product. So just want to shout out to the Active Sport.
Well, thank you, Tambra. Thank you for sharing all of that wonderful information. We do have a wholesale offer for everyone today. Sean Paul, my friend over there.
Yes, our wholesale offer today is post.
Woohoo! 10% off your order. Don't forget, we also have our Bulgarian Rose Auto on special, which somebody mentioned that they love it. So don't forget that's on special. And also we have the, when you spend $500 wholesale, you receive the Chai Soy Mud Mask, the deluxe sample. I think that, how many are in a pack of that? Is it 10?
10, yep.
Which is awesome. Such a good giveaway, especially if someone is purchasing the Clarify kit, to gift them with that, because it goes along so nicely, especially for everyone's mask issues. See, I have one. So that's a really nice little gift too. We will be back again next week, same time. Our giveaway will be announced next Monday. Heidi will be joining us, so that's very exciting on Monday. So please tune in to us next week. And I hope you all have a really great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us for this 12th week of Zoom. And yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Tambra.
Have a great
Amazing
weekend.
job. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.